All right, five of us, that's enough for quorum and CalPy, I think. So before we get going, we always start with this pop quiz. This guy, Mike Driscoll, he's an author in the Python space. He's done a dozen or so books. He's got a Substack. He's a contributor to the Real Python website, and he's got a handful of social media outlets that he publishes stuff on, and he'll post these quizzes. Now, this one's one of the earliest ones, I guess, number two, number explosion. And his deal here is he is really familiar with the nuts and bolts of Python. He's not a core contributor, but I know he's incredibly adept. So he'll show us something interesting with just a few lines of code. So I usually will pull this one up in a REPL. So let me get my terminal open while we're at it. Do we have the chat open? Maybe we could drop some wagers in the chat while I get this lined up. All right, so we're doing numbers. Oh, I could there. All right, numbers, range 3. So we know with Python, range 3 is going to give us up to 3. So 0, 1, 2. Output numbers in, since it's curly braces, that makes it a set, but then it's unpacking a list that we stored into numbers or something like that. So then output should then be the set 0, 1, 2 or something. So it seems like maybe E, unless there's something tricky going on. So,
Oh, Python represent lists is not like a square braces, like a just braces. I
well,
don't
the fun
know.
part is we can do this practically here. And I'm just going to set
Oh,
it up
okay.
real quick so we don't have to watch me stumble through. There we go. Okay. So numbers is being assigned the value of the range with the input 3. Okay. So, oh, all right. We hit the ads. We're done. Okay. Here we go. Boom. 0, 1, 2. Well, that was okay. I guess the main thing here we're looking at is the star operator. This one I think is perhaps that what he's really showing us is that you can explode the numbers out. There we go. Comedy. Get it started. Hey, ChatGPT, can you write code without copying it from others? No, can you? Okay, okay.
Deep.
Ouch. All right, welcome guys. It's California Python, formerly Sacramento Python, but also still kind of AKA Sacramento Python. I like the California flag branding a little bit better than the yellow Gadsden flag. But all the same, it's October 2nd, 2025. As I said, this kind of operates under my company, and it's a private organization at this point, but I'm trying to get some practice in. And I also like to just generally keep a record of what's going on. So here at the beginning of Q4, I'm going to do a little bit of a retrospective on what happened in Q3. So we started Q4 or Q3 rather. I was out in Virginia Beach and I made my way back here to Livermore, where I used as a jumping off point to go check out San Francisco a handful of times. I also made my way out to the valley to visit my friend Aaron Rodriguez with whatever he's calling his current project. And I've got some updates on a book that I've been helping the production on since I started my Python career back in 2019. And a brief little update of some content and some fun stuff with computer vision that you can do with a simple app download and a little bit of patience and a steady hand with the game I'm working on called Rec League, formerly Red Eye Game. So 4th of July on Chicks Beach, that is Chesapeake Bridge. It's on the easternmost shore of Virginia. It's actually quite south, almost near the southern border of Virginia, and just south of Norfolk. And they had a pretty cool 4th of July celebration this year. I didn't make it last year. I was glad to make it this year. And so the day of, I don't have much to share from the day of. I was enjoying myself too much, but the community in the area did fireworks on the 6th, and it was pretty neat. It was out over the ocean, and they did pictures from that. It was more the setting than the fireworks display that was cool. Everyone's out on the beach, a bunch of people out on their boats, got the bridge all lit up there in the back, and the Navy, or maybe just the local had a barge out there doing fireworks. It's pretty fun. Um, I tend to travel a bit. I like to visit my friends because we couldn't do that during the pandemic, and now I can. And since I've been running a company, I get to decide where I go. So I'm a bit of a digital nomad these days, and I like to think my calling card is when I've left, I leave things put back together. So I fixed my friend's mirror this most recent time. I also did some deep cleaning, but I was particularly proud of this one because, a mirror on the wall opens up the space. All right, so I'm out in Livermore right now. Dr. Tanim Islam is one of our MVP presenters, but he is not currently here right now. He had a last minute dinner for various reasons at work. He works over there at the lab. We call this Shade Twinkles. Twinkles is his pet parrot who clearly runs the roost. And this is something from the Buy Nothing project in Livermore. Found a charcoal grill and I've been using it to work on my grilling. Been working on stovetop popcorn. I go by frymatic because I like to make things, whether it's food or product online. And so, I'll be hacking away, but I'll also be cooking up a storm if I ever hang out. And his bird is particularly fond of the fruits, and he's particularly fond of the farmers market. So I've been finding these peaches he likes, and I've been working on my knife skills and cutting them up the way the bird likes them. The bird will take those like little julienne pieces and hold on to it, eat it. It's pretty cute. And then his favorite is Sikh kebab. That's what's on the grill there. No, those are not pieces of poop. They're more like beef sausages with a whole bunch of spice in them. They're really good. Let me tell you, I've experimented on that and found a lot of ways to make those wrong, but I think I'm pretty close on how to get them right. And while I've been out here, I rode a bike. Steve Jobs once said, "Computer's bicycle for the mind." So I was thinking about that when I'm riding. First one was a little too spicy, but the one at the bottom is the one I went with. It's been fun riding around here on a decent bike. And riding around here, I've found there's a whole bunch of nerds in the community around a national laboratory, as it turns out, including a group doing model aircraft. And it's pretty cool. Someone doing some textbook level flying. But it was a pretty neat group. They had this trailer there and they had a simulator set up. They let me play around with that. It turns out first person shooters on Xbox translate at least to the thumb skill necessary to fly reasonably well. Need to make my way out there. Um, I'll have a callback to this later when talking about my project with my friend Alex. And also, like I was saying, my calling card is I leave the place better than I found it. Been doing some deep cleaning around here. Like I said, Shay Twinkles runs the place, so he leaves a certain mark himself. So gotten into it and basically erased it. Now, being out in Livermore, jumping off point into San Francisco is not exactly close. It's a bit of a bike ride, but becomes kind of a fun logistical challenge. And it's worth it when there's some live music at the end of it. That's my Burning Man bicycle that I took out to Bart and into the city to go pick up tickets for the Stern Grove Festival, which is a sort of open source live music project. You can buy tickets and whatnot, but if you're willing to follow along and show up to the pop-ups where they're handing them out, the community box office, they call it, you can get a pair of tickets and meet fun people like guys with dogs in their backpacks and see awesome art because there's a lot of it in San Francisco. This was just in front of the ferry building, right at the end of Market Street. And this was the event. This was the day or two after Stern Grove. Good times. Like I said, my name is frymatic on the internets. Do it because I make stuff. I like to make food. I like to make code. I also like to make music. So music is important to me, and hopefully that'll come back in the future with some Pythonic music projects. But that's a look out from the stage into the crowd. It's pretty neat. It's in like a eucalyptus forest, and the crowd goes on the hill all the way up into the forest. It's pretty neat. So next up, this is a project I've been working on with a young friend of mine that I met during the pandemic. His name's Alex Rodriguez Tobai. He was calling this Minokawa Aerospace, and that was what informed the wacky logo in the background. Some Filipino mythical creature eats the sun or something like that. The idea initially was that they would be making fixed wing automated drones for firefighting at like a micro scale or like a fractional scale, as opposed to like the big man-made ones that drop fire retardant or water or something like that. But they've since pivoted on the name and the offering, as lots of startups do. So I'm not sure what they're calling it now. Prometheus was in the mix, but all the same, A-Rod's the guy, and mostly what he's doing is drones and 3D printing. So here's one of the most recent ones. I think they called this one the Roadrunner or something like that. I think it nearly flew. Looks pretty cool though. That is entirely 3D printed with the exception of the hardware. As you can see in the bottom two pages, there's some propellers in there. Now, I got tapped into this project because I was asked if I could handle the avionics, and I said, sure, why not? Having exactly zero experience, but it's been fun getting to know what's in the guts of these things that are, well, realistically kind of winning the war in Ukraine. It's amazing what's available in the open source space. Tons of, I mean, it's no surprise that drone swarms and drone shows have gotten so intricate and detailed because the software is amazing and powerful and free, not unlike Python, and also including quite a bit of Python. One of the things he got recently, he's one of these guys that's just accumulating toys and always playing with them and likes when his friends would come over and play with him. So he got a sticker printer recently. This is a array of some of the stickers I made. DB's my friend in Los Angeles or Hollywood. He used to do music production. I think he still does some, but he's been doing more of just like content production on TikTok and YouTube and stuff. But his name is Danny Byrne, so he goes by DB. That's a little sticker and logo I made for him. And then the bottom is from a friend of mine. She's a magician. She was making pins or something like that once upon a time. And I remember seeing what she was making and thinking, hey, that's cool art. At some point, that should come back around. So rehashed the art, redrew the vectors, and chose some new font and mostly the same color values. But and then of course the Made in USA stickers. We've been sticking those on things because hey, we did. And that's Alex at the top left there, working on a brand mark of mine. It's a basically it's a stencil. And the image itself is pretty straightforward. It's just kind of a hack of this font called Tratatello, and then just like the letter F. And the way that that font works, it does this sort of scripty thing, and it's like a degree sign on the end. But if you vectorize that and then turn it into something 3D printable, well, you have a bit of a Python problem on your hand. And that's something I've been working on. We've been calling it STLify. STL is what it takes to generate something that can be printed. And I'm pretty good at two-dimensional vector art. He's pretty good at the drafting, but I've been finding that I can take my two-dimensional art, use Python and Blender, and create three-dimensional art. It's a pretty simple process of extrusion and some Boolean algebra, but it seems to be the foundations of something that could be useful going forward. But for now, just kind of making stencils and other simple things. Here's that stencil getting printed. and that's a Prusa. I think it's a German brand. Really cool stuff. Um, there's an application of the stencil. Spray painted some gold and did some paint pens on it just to spruce it up and add some details. Nice blurry shot of it for some texture. And then there's like a way you could actually use it functionally, make an interesting stencil and do things like make your charging cable recognizable. Like, did you really put those exact squiggles on that charger? No, you stole my charger. That's what you did. That's why we have stencils. It's Bigfoot with some Crocs, Bigfoot with a fanny pack. We're having fun with it. It's Bender. Anyway, enough of the 3D printing and drones and stuff. This is a book I've been working on. This The author I got in contact with again right around the beginning of my Python career in late 2019, and they got to writing this book and been at it for quite some time and finally got around to publishing. And so they are off to the races. And last we checked in, they had just published to Amazon, and this is a print of what one of the books looks like. But they've gone on to continue their syndication efforts. Amazon is the single outlet. They also got themselves onto this one called Ingram Spark, and then now a much more recognizable name, Barnes and Noble. And they're effectively on the third edition. There are hundreds of copies sold at this point. Not huge, but considering they've done this entirely without a book deal or agent or like real editors. I mean, I've done some of the editing, but all things considered, they did it pretty much start to finish. Pretty cool. So, been working a little bit on how to promote it, including some more work with stencils. And there's the Postmodern Venus stencil. Okay, thanks for doing that one, Alex. A friend that works in the space adjacent to the topic of the novel saw some of the artwork and said, "Oh, you should make those into earrings." So that's what some of the earrings look like. Get some pink ones, blue ones, and black ones. And hopefully that'll be the fuel for Praizen Studios' first foray proper into Amazon store population. And finally, on the update, we got Rec League continues. It's a computer vision based game. The idea is that it's not the everything app, it's the everything game. And the game is based on the sensors of your phone, primarily the camera. With Rec League, point the camera at a game and it will ref it for you. It'll give you a score. It'll tell you when to stop, it'll tell you when to start. But for now, we're just working on simple things like Gaussian splatting. This is I've been doing some landscaping here in Livermore, staying at Town Eames, in addition to my cooking. And I cleaned up a tree and I thought, hey, that actually looks pretty neat now that the roots are exposed. I thought it'd be kind of cool as maybe like a world tree for a game. So I did a three-dimensional scan of it.
Question, which software camera you used for that one?
You can do this. I think I use Polycam. I think Luma 3D is also a good one worth looking
Okay.
at. And there's two main techniques. One's called NERF, neural radiance fields, and then the other one's called Gaussian splatting. I think Gaussian splatting is video to point field, where NERF is like an array of images or something like that. But yeah, Polycam's a good one, and Luma 3D or Luma AI. And
Nice.
so, took a scan like that, generated a model, and then I dumped it into the Roblox Studio. So there's a general idea of like that, that thing scanned. And instead of putting myself in a situation where I have to model a tree, I'm just using actual real world assets or real world modeling to do the like interesting randomness that nature does. Oh, and then one more thing while I was here, went to a concert in Shoreline Amphitheater thanks to some gifts from a person I met on Discord. It was pretty cool. That's Shoreline Amphitheater. That's kind of far back. You can't even actually see the pit there. We got a little further down later, but it's quite the production. It's such an amazing sound system. It almost doesn't even matter where you are. This one was kind of funny. As you can see, there are an extreme amount of people with their phones up. And that is for a reason. He said, like, hey, everyone turn your light on and hold it up. And wish I had a video of that one, but it was a pretty cool effect. Okay, so now we're going to get a little bit more loose on the structure. Next up, I wanted to talk about a project that I've been working on for quite some time. I did some hackathons back in the day with the UN, and one in particular kind of I thought had some potential, but just never really ended up going anywhere. And now I'm finding that it is potentially a valuable tool for a project I'm working on. And I love that this is all entirely new faces to me, except maybe like JP or something like that. But yeah, I guess I gotta explain the whole thing from the very beginning. So let's see what we can do with that. I guess we can just go to designs. So let's do that. All right, we're off the rails here, just into full, just share the screen and hope we don't lose stuff mode. Okay, so that's the update. This is the thing that we did for the UN. It's called a public safety answering point. And the idea was that we are doing it with a Discord server as like the answering point for phone calls. Now, this was sort of prompted by a group that we were working with. Is this? Oh yeah, we need to update that. That's funny. Okay. Uh, hmm. Okay, now I must apologize. I'm scrambling a little bit here because it's sort of like a last minute presentation. But this is a continuation of something that like we got started in 2021, did an incubator. So I'm trying to piece together where we should go from here. Should we start from the beginning or work backwards? Probably start from the beginning. It's a very good place to start. Where is Hmm. Okay, so while I'm looking for this, does anyone here use Discord?
I used in the past, but not
Okay.
using.
Or Slack or anything like that?
I use Discord and Slack.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so in Discord, you're familiar with like the voice channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a voice channel has people in it, right? Go into a channel, click on it. Now you're in the channel. Maybe someone else sees you're in there. They click on the channel, and then you're able to talk. Maybe you need to unmute, or maybe you don't want to listen to them and you deafen, or something like that. I don't know if anyone else wants to try to jump in here. Maybe someone has joined today. Nope, no one joined today. Wah, wah, wah. Um, but basically, the general idea is that when you're in one of these channels, I'm working on a bot that can join the channel, and the source of the voice for that bot is someone dialing in on their phone via Twilio. And so I've been we've gotten that to work in the past, but I'm working on porting it to Python and then finishing like the feature set. And so that all started back in 2021 after we had a good showing on the UN hackathon with this one called City Safe, or no, it was called Safe Cities. And built this thing that was kind of like they gave us a bunch of like data. It was like crime data or something like that, and it said like what do you do with that? And so we built this kind of like, is this one? This is like the super messed up one. Oh yeah, this is the early one before we cleaned it up. Yeah, it's all the assets. We need the video for it. But anyway, we did well. We got like a runner up and then we used it to get into this incubator. It was called Unbundle Policing. I was trying to rebrand it, say call it Unburden Policing because it sounded a little scary for the police. But the idea was that after the George Floyd thing happened, they thought, we need to like kind of workshop this. And it was a bit of a think tank. It was an incubator that then went on to be an accelerator. But more importantly, like it was a way to mingle as like technologists with people working close to the problem. And so, there were people in like crisis intervention training. There were people that worked in dispatch. There were people that worked in the jails. There were people that worked on programs like the NYPD for like deflection and stuff like that. A whole bunch of ways to just avoid, the negative things that happen in law enforcement. And so, long story short, our concept didn't really gel, but I did learn about something while I was in there, which was uh, most interesting to me, which is like the dispatch. And so we didn't really like continue on with this. The idea with this was like someone puts out a distress call and then someone picks up the call. And maybe the distress call is just like a text to a group, or it's like a voice call somehow, or a video stream or something like that. And then, people online in the cloud to help out, whether they're professional or just like concerned community people, and help you get out of trouble, get somewhere safe, get away, whatever, that sort of thing. It was cool, but it got us into this thing. And so that was called MIT Solve, and the theme was unbundle policing, and we learned about these public safety answering points. This is kind of like the old school definition. You call in either like through a hard line or cellular, and via various jurisdictions, you get routed to whatever the local sort of service group is that answers whatever this like safety line is. 911 being the most popular. At the time that we were working on this, 988 was just around the corner. And so, that's part of how we were pitching it. We're also pitching it as a sort of civilian like safety network for the Ukraine war, because this was like 2 weeks after it started or something. And then one of the guys on our team was in Ukraine. Um, and so here's the thing that we pushed out. There's a bunch of like squiggly rehashings of the thing. I think I had a cooler one here somewhere. Where are you? Is it that one? No. There, that one. That one was cleaner. But pretty straightforward. The idea would be like deploy a QR code if you're a person that set up one of these answering points, and then someone could scan it, and the scanning would send them to, or kick them off into the flow into the system. Either they get a session directly from the landing page, or they get the dial-in number from it, and interface with Twilio and end up in our world. Still don't feel I feel like this needs reworking. I like the new one. So is anyone here active on their GitHub? I'm trying to be more active with this. That's why I'm thinking want to
I'm
publish
trying to find the group. I can't find it.
oh,
The
forget
Discord.
of the Discord. Yeah, try out calpy.org. It should
Oh,
forward you in there.
nope. I don't
Oh,
see
did
it.
I kill it? Okay, I'm gonna do a new link then.
Oh, did you just send it to me?
I'm gonna do one right now. I'm gonna put it in the chat for here. I swear it used to be the right one. If you go to calpy dot,
There's chat. Okay.
oh yeah, no, I screwed up. I think this is messed up. As you can see, there's a little bit of AI slop here, but realistically, it is something we're at. So, has anyone tried to make a Discord bot at this point?
Brazen Studio?
Yeah, Brazen Studios is the company, and if you click in
Oh,
there, you should see it is the home of CalPy.
see it. Yeah.
And then I'm sitting in the Brazen Studio channel. That was really more for demonstration purposes. But that is where I'm going to be doing the work on the bot.
CalPy. Okay.
Oh no, the garage door's not working. Yeah, so basically, that's where I'm at on that. Join me in the Discord. I'm gonna be hacking away at this. But the quarterly's done. We did our thing. Anyone have any announcements? I'm gonna call this one early tonight, I think, since this is, it was a light night.
I have
Oh,
something I could show if
yeah, sure.
you want to see it. Okay, hold on. Let me just figure out how to do this.
And we got Pixel
So
Table for next week or next month.
yeah, so this is just like a little preview. So Pixel Table is a AI orchestration platform and it's
Hmm.
open source and local. So you can do pretty much everything with it. It's basically a, a Postgres database, and then the AI works on columns. And you can have multimedia, you can have anything in there. But so I'm just gonna, so I made an MCP server for it, and it's kind of sick. You can, it has a built-in web server. So let me see. Let me start Claude here.
This is awesome. Dude, you're doing the promo for next month. Pixel Table is presenting next month.
Yeah, I just want to
This is
show this
awesome.
because I like it did this like I Monday I did the demo of like an original, like the first one, and then I was like, wow, it'd be really great if you could actually see the multimedia in Pixel Table. So let me just check if the MCP, yeah, there it is. Or wait, yeah, MCP. I think it's working. Okay, yeah, it's working. I'll just reconnect to it just in case. Okay, and then I got my canvas open over here. So I built a canvas. So if you've used an MCP with like any kind of database, this is pretty standard to just like look at the tables. There he goes. Okay, it's working. Sorry, it's a little slow. Um,
Yeah, no, dude, you're doing great. This is awesome.
so yeah, Claude's using the MCP tool to connect to Pixel Table, and you can see these different tables in here of data. And again, it's a Postgres system, but it stores multimedia. So it has uh, video, audio, images, and PDF files or other documents. Um, the image data. So now Claude's going into the database, picking out an image, and then he's going to use the integrated server to send it to the canvas, hopefully.
Nice.
And what's cool about this MCP is like normally they're like a REST endpoint sort of inside of a thing. Oh, I want to actually see the image. So this is kind of loose because what's going on here is I've just given Claude the Python REPL. So inside the MCP, he has his own REPL. And so he can write Python, and then I just gave him a web server, and he can kind of just throw anything up there. So it's kind of random at this point. Um,
That's awesome.
um, but what's nice about Pixel Table is that you can do AI at like sort of mass scale. Like you can fill up a table full of images and just let it process, and it incorporates every model like on Hugging Face. So okay, now it showed me like one image from that table. Um, and you can actually build a whole pipeline with this. So if like I want to add some more images and run an object detection on it, I can do that. Or you could do audio and transcribe the audio, and it's all just like talking to Claude, and you're just doing all this stuff in the background. Like I've seen a lot of frameworks for AI, and this is pretty much, we've kind of got it down to like this really easy system. There's things like Lovable out there that are like popular commercial versions. Um, but this you can do on your own computer. You could put it on a server if you want. If you want a bigger processor, this is running really slow. I think it's because my internet connection isn't that fast. But I don't know why that did. Oh, there it is. So here it was an image detection that it ran. I don't know what it's detecting.
This is awesome. You know, Marcel's presenting here next month, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just
Okay,
wanted to
cool.
show that so this toy that I made on top of it. He'll explain more about like what
Yeah,
Pixel Table actually is and stuff. But yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
just banged this out this week, so I'm like kind of excited about it.
Yeah, that's freaking great.
The
Uh,
goal here is to turn this into more of a this is like the developer tool that like any developer can just install Pixel Table and be up and running in 5 minutes and just start building your own AI pipelines. But I'm going to make a more formalized client that's more like something you would get from, when you download a database software like memgraph, or and it shows the different tables and the sort of. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. It also does audio.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm just really amazed at like what Claude can do. I mean, it's writing the code right there on the fly to display this stuff. See, and it's playable audio. I don't know if you can hear that. It's just a
Yeah, the audio.
yeah,
I think you have to do share sound when you
yeah.
at the
It's not
beginning.
anything great. But you had said you were doing some audio stuff that kind of caught my attention because right now we're kind of light on audio. I mean, you can transcribe your audio files with Whisper or uh, there's a couple other things you can do, but there's so much you can do, right?
Yeah,
I'm more of an image person. I do a lot of photography and stuff, so I know that pretty well. But audio, I'd like to add more in
nice.
Pixel Table. So anyway,
Yeah, I think with that SOS bot or whatever I'm going to end up calling it, there's going to be a good amount of speech to text. There might be some amount of text to speech, like vis-a-vis an IVR or something like that.
mhm.
But all things considered, yeah, as far as like the audio goes in my interest, I kind of still maintain a lot of manual assembly, but I am finding that there are well, I don't know. As far as the music, I don't know that I'm going to do too much in the way of like AI stuff, but I am finding that it is pretty good for um for doing filters and stuff like that for digital audio workstations. My music production friend has been getting on me about that for some time. I'm like, I think we can do it now.
Yeah, I really want to try and do some more creative stuff with Pixel Table. There's a lot of obvious like sort of functional uses, but I want to just figure out how to make beautiful things with it, and kind of I don't know. It's great. Oh, so here it did transcripts of the different audio files in there. There's only 10 in here, so. Now if I add a new uh audio file to this table, it'll automatically transcribe it. Once you set it up, it's done. And
Wow,
yeah, and to add like a new model, you just tell Claude, you're like, "Hey, I want to be able to whatever." And it goes and downloads the model from Hugging Face right here, and it's basically no code at this point. Um, that said, you can still go in and like definitely hack around inside of it and code. So
awesome. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Marcel's presentation on that. This might be an interesting one for some of the other things in the portfolio. I'm doing one in the HVAC space.
mhm.
I suspect there might be some potential for something like this, maybe more on the image end of things, like, oh no, my air conditioner went out. Go take a photo of it and then like start the process of like identify what kind of model it is and therefore, what likely parts need replacing. You always
Mhm.
need that sort of thing. And then, generate a deal and find a contractor and start the permitting process and collect payment. And
Yeah, you can do basic like RAG stuff where you have like a RAG database, like all the images and do similarity search and
Mhm.
stuff if you want to do that. I mean, it's basically anything you can do out there with AI models and stuff, you can do with this system. That's what's kind of like impressing me so much about it. Like I've been there for 2 months now at Pixel Table, and I
Nice.
just, I thought it was cool to begin with, but when I actually, the more I play around with it, the more I appreciate it. Because I've used other systems like, LangChain and various pipelines and stuff. And what happens is I build something and then it just gets out of date and like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then it's like this, like, oh, I have to change that one thing that I made 6 months ago. How do I even do it? Where did I put the code? And you just kind of forget over time,
Right.
and it becomes this big like headache. But this kind of makes a lot of things easy. So
Well, it does look slick.
yeah, well, this is just the beginning. So hopefully, in a couple months, we'll have something even more. Oh, and the feature Marcel's going to talk about is data sharing.
Oh,
So
cool.
you have your local pixel table with all the AI models and everything all set up as a table. Your pipeline's a table. Then you
Mhm.
can share it to the web, and someone else can download that table, and it'll download all the models and everything for them. So it's all set up and ready to go on their computer, and
Right.
they can add data to your table, or there's different ways you can share it and stuff. So we just pushed that out, but it's not really public yet.
Yeah.
And by next month, I think that'll be something we probably can show.
Awesome. Oh,
Definitely.
oh, I just realized you're Lux. Hey, what's up,
That's
man?
me.
Frymatic. How's it
I'm
going?
Rob Lux.
Yes. We're both on a group chat on Twitter. Thanks for setting this up. I'm stoked that Marcel's gonna be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy that I had for this month, or rather that I thought I had for this month, is out of the San Diego group, and that they meet over Discord on Saturdays. That's a good one for anyone who's interested. The whatever, just meetup.com/California Python. There's this Saturday group. I think some of them would actually be pretty interested in this. A bunch of them actually usually show up, but not
Is
this
it
time.
is it Southern California or
Yeah, San Diego.
oh, I mean, is the group called SoCal?
Oh, it's just California Python. So
Oh, okay.
meetup.com/California Python.
Oh, okay. On Saturday.
Yeah, unclaimed namespace. I was like, hey, that's California's recognizable.
Yeah.
No one knows where Sacramento is.
Yeah.
This is cool. Looks really slick. Just doing like a bunch of the heavy lifting. Keeping your eyes from drying out too much.
Yeah, I'll have to get it loaded up with like some more data so I can do a real demo. I mean, the cool thing too is like we added all the notebooks in the on the web page into this MCP system
Hmm.
and in a special JSON-L format so that the AI can read it really quick without using a lot of context.
Right,
And basically any of those you can just say, "Hey, remember that notebook?" and it'll just build it for you.
right.
So any of those ideas, and we're going to be adding some more too. So
Very
um,
cool.
yeah, a lot of work to do.
Awesome. Well, I
Keep me
we should
busy.
probably follow up and like make sure we got details. I want to promote that event quite a bit more than this one. I was traveling and things
No
kind of fell
worries.
off,
Yeah,
but yeah, we can usually get 20 plus people, which lends to a pretty good conversation.
yeah. I mean, I think this is a really cool system. Mainly because it's, open source. Like everybody else, it's like on the cloud and you have to use their cloud orchestration and figure out their way of doing it or whatever. But this is like all right here on my computer. I can just look at the source code and I don't have to share my data with anyone if I don't want to. Um,
That's really cool.
yeah, it's pretty sick. So
Awesome. Anyone have any questions for Rob about Pixel Table here? Well, if not
No.
right now, start thinking about it. Poke around because next month we're going to be going over this in depth with the man himself.
yeah, Marcel is pretty hardcore database developer, or it might be Aaron. I'm not sure. He's a really good Python programmer, like the best, or really good. I don't know.
Marcel like invented the Parquet file.
He did, yeah, and he worked at Google on the F1 query engine, which was I don't know. He's basically kind of the concept of data lakes is like something he started,
Those things. Whoa,
like yeah, or around his time started. I don't know, but
gotcha.
yeah, early creator inventor of the data lake.
Right, Parquet file. That's a pretty good claim to fame.
Yeah.
This is awesome. All right. Well, if anyone else has any announcements, I'd say this is maybe time to drop in. Otherwise, I'm going to retire to the Discord while this recording publishes and get back to banging away on the SOS bot. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Hopefully, we'll see y'all either this Saturday or next month for Pixel
Hi,
Table.
sir.
See
Hi,
you.
sir. I have a question to you.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, like my mic was not working. I was clicking on it, but it didn't let me to do that. So, hi, sir. So, my name is Vim and I'm from Fresno.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, in 2023, I completed my associate in like from Fresno City College, and my major was computer information technology in a web development. So I have my associate degree and I used to code in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Mhm.
But due to some like a family issue, I could not pursue my coding career. So I had like some family issue. So now like I have been doing a DoorDash. I'm like a DoorDash driver right now,
Mhm.
and now I want to go toward the Python.
Sure.
So this will be like my start. I am about to start the Python journey. So I sent you the picture also, the roadmap of a Python.
Mhm.
So can you please tell, because you have been in this industry like since 2019, so you have a very experienced person. So that's why can you help me is it the worth it like, if I follow this roadmap?
That's a pretty good one. Let's see. Pip, conda, read list, data structures, automation testing. That's pretty good. I think an interesting way to do that that includes a bunch of kind of recipes is my favorite book, Automate the Boring Stuff. And I'll put a link to that just under your roadmap thing. Automate the Boring Stuff is by a guy named Al Swigert. It's available for free online. You can donate to him if you need, but the reason a person like that puts something like that out is so that a door dasher can go from door dashing to writing code for a living. And it follows
Yeah.
a pretty similar roadmap to that. And I think if you're creative about it, you might be able to use some of the data that you're getting as a door dasher and do some Python with it. Maybe make a nice visualization of how you've progressed. Maybe you're getting faster. Maybe
Yeah.
tips are all over. Maybe you make a map and you figure out certain areas have better ordering rates, or
No.
maybe you forecast where you should be, what time of day, that sort of thing. All stuff that you could do with Python.
Yeah.
And so check that
Yeah.
one
I
out.
got you, sir. Like it's just
Automate the boring, not the boring stuff.
yeah, I will check it.
Wait, I spelled it
So,
wrong. Let me fix it. Automate the boring stuff.com. There, that should
okay,
work.
sir.
And if I had
Yeah.
to offer a sort of idiosyncratic approach to it, start with chapter 5, I believe it is. Uh,
Okay, sir.
and then go to the beginning. The
I
reason
got you.
being because that is data structure. Oh, I'm sorry. It's chapter 7 now. He's updated it. Very cool. He's on the third edition now. Chapter 7 deals with dictionaries and structuring data. And the reason I offer that one as a starting point is all the rest of it's very important. Go there next, but prime yourself with dictionaries, because dictionaries are the same shape as a very important shape of data that floats around the internet called JSON. And JSON is JSON, and it is an acronym that stands for JavaScript Object Notation. And most of these applications out there, you can talk to them, and you can talk to them with another application. And more often than not, they're burping out some sort of, structured data, and a very common one is JSON, and it's shaped just like a Python dictionary. So check that one out.
I
Automate the
got
boring
you. I
stuff
got,
and do that. Like find that stuff that you're doing for DoorDash and find a way to like apply it, one of the chapters to it, and it'll be fun because,
yeah.
you're already making money doing it, and then like you might save yourself some time. I'm
Yeah.
sure the app's pretty good on DoorDash, but
Yeah. I got you, sir. So my last question to you, like after like expert in these field, because it will be just like I will take just a 6 months for being an expert in these things, because I have like I used to do a code. I know a lot of things about the coding. So like after being expert in these kind of things, so like how will I be able to land a job? Because I went to the LinkedIn, so like I could not understand like what they, because I am a fresher in this field, so like is there any possibility like you want to provide to me like after being an expert in this field?
well, the one thing, like once you get started with that, I think maybe then it's just about starting to cultivate your portfolio of things. If you follow along with the book, there's a bunch of sort of recipes that you can do and, put them on a website. And aside
I
from
got you, sir.
aside from automate the boring stuff, I cannot recommend ChatGPT enough. I think you're asking a lot of the right questions. ChatGPT is a very good tutor if you know how to prompt it. But in a weird way, you can ask it how to prompt it, and it can teach you how to do things like that. Aside from that, maybe look
I
at some.
got you.
Google offers a whole bunch of interesting certificates too, so I'd check them out as well. JP
Yeah.
offers that 100 Days of Python is an amazing course in Udemy. I can't disagree that anything that's got you doing 100 days of something, that's always a good thing. If you do 100 days in a row of something, you'll be pretty good at it at the end. That or sick of it.
Sure, sir. Sure. Yeah. Thank you,
Cool.
sir. Great to talk to you. Yeah. In the future also I will talk to you and will take a guidelines from you.
Great.
And
We're here
from,
every
yeah,
month.
that's like yeah, like I saw it in a meetup. So like yesterday I downloaded the meetup and I was like curious about the Python, and then your page came in front of me. So then I thought, okay, like I have to pause my DoorDash and then let's join this Zoom meeting.
I love it.
So that then I came here. Yeah.
I love it. You join in from the car,
Yeah.
some hustle. Hell yeah, Divium.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, anyone
Okay, sir.
else? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Check those out. Jump on the Discord. Keep asking good questions like that. I love it.
Sure, sir. After being an expert, I will be I will be here to ask you a lot of questions in future.
Beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
the fun part
Thank you, sir.
is once
Thank
you
you.
once you got to your expert level, you realize there's so much more to learn, and you never have to stop learning. But
Yeah.
nice when you start earning too. All
Sure,
right.
sir.
Well, I
Thank you.
think I'm going to wrap it up here. We're going to be back in a month with Rob's company, Pixel Table, and one of the head honchos over there, Marcel. And it should be a real interesting one. Thanks for the demo there, Rob, and great questions, Divium. I like where your head's at. All right, I will see y'all in a month or
Yeah.
Saturday. But ta-ta for now.
Bye bye. Thank
Sure,
you.
sir. Yeah.
Cheers.